Well, definitely not the easiest road to this fight. I mean, lots of opponent changes, this whole USADA situation. We'll just start off with that because obviously that's kind of what's been out in the news the most. Just, what did you just make of that whole situation? How do you deal with it? And I mean, it seems like you're able to put it behind you pretty quickly, but just how frustrating has that whole thing been?
Oh man, it's been very frustrating. It's one of those things, man, like you don't expect, and then when it happens, you're just kind of like caught in it and you're trying to deal with it. It was found to be tainted, and the thing that I'm more upset about is my reputation. You know what I mean? Like I pride myself on being a clean fighter, fighting fair, and a martial artist. And, it leaves kind of a bad taste in my mouth that I had to deal with that situation. And we're still working through it. I'm gonna take legal action as far as, on my end, because I feel like my name is worth that. You know what I mean? My reputation is worth that. So, with that said, like anything else that's happened in my career, whether it be a setback or success, I just keep my head on the prize and focus and just keep moving forward, man. Try to find the silver lining in everything. I believe God does everything for a reason.
And you mentioned, your reputation gets, taken down a little bit. With the way USADA's adjusted, now, especially in your case too, they go through the whole process, they announce your suspension after. Before, it used to be the opposite. Like if you'd have the situation come up, they'd announce it, then it would be going from there.
Exactly.
What do you think is better? Do you think it's better the way they do it?
I think it's better the way they did it. Jeff, they were amazing through the whole process. So what actually happened was I failed a test in California, is when they noticed it. I passed the USADA test. And so right away, Jeff called me and he's like, hey, we're going to support you. We got your back. Like, let's get this stuff in. Let's follow this protocol so we can make sure everything's on the up and up. And I did everything they asked me to do, and they found out that, I did nothing wrong. So on their end, it was just the way they handled it was perfect. I appreciate them, giving me due process and letting me prove, that I did nothing wrong and that I, in fact, didn't know. So I really, want to send a thank you to Jeff and Donna and all them over at USADA for sure for helping me out.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned you want to take legal action towards, the distributor who have the tainted supplement.
Sure.
Where does that process start? What do you kind of have to do in order to make that happen?
From what I understand, I need to reach out to. I was told to reach out to a personal injury lawyer in my city, where I purchased the supplements. So that's kind of what we did. We're going that route, and we're just kind of waiting to see how it plays out. Like I said, it's not a thing where I'm just like locked in and focused on that. Like I'm like, all right, that's in the background. Let it do what it's gonna do, and then I'm gonna focus on my career. I'm having success right now, so I just kind of want to stay in that mind frame. Not negative energy. I don't need. Good vibes is what I'm all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not like you lost a ton of your career. Like this is probably in the normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways,
that was the blessing.
But they did take the win away from you on the record. So I mean, that's a big win. That's a former champion, Andre Arlovski. Is that a more frustrating aspect of it too? I mean, I think everyone, you kind of know ultimately if you watch the fight and stuff on your record.
And when you look at the record, I mean, here's how I look at it, bro. Like for real, I have 5. I know for a fact losses on my record that were split decisions that I definitely feel like I won the fight. Right. You know what I mean? So you could say that in my whole career, like, oh, what if? But I don't deal with what ifs. You know what I mean? Things happen for a reason. And like I said, that's why when I walk in that cage and that door shuts, I'm trying to decapitate guys. I don't want to let the judges have it. So it's just one of those things, man. It's like me and Andre know he lost. The fans that watched the fight know he lost. Could I have finished him? I should have finished him, yeah. But, it doesn't look good on the record to have a no contest, but whatever, I'm not fighting for a beautiful record. I'm fighting to get a win every time I walk in there, you know what I mean? So it is what it is, man.
Yeah, and I mean, all that aside, I'm sure beating someone like Andre Arlovski must give you some confidence, right? Going forward.
Yeah.
Like, I know you've kind of been looking for a signature victory for that.
Oh, for sure.
For a while. So how do you pick up the momentum off a performance like that and carry it forward?
Just keep doing what we've been doing, man. I made a gym change, so like, the mind frame and the headspace I'm in is we're just trying to maintain that, man. Like I said, no bad vibes. You know what I mean? Just staying focused and keep progressing and getting better, man. Rounding my game out, and the gym changes definitely helped me do that, and that's definitely helped with my confidence as well as a win in a fight against somebody of Andre's caliber, who I looked up to, man, for so many years.
Yeah. Where are you now?
I'm at Spartan Fitness in Birmingham. So I actually just switched gyms in Birmingham. you know, got a more stable foundation. I'm training with my boy Eric Anders now. So, you know, it's just one of those things, man, where I hit my ceiling at the old place, and I just needed to refresher, you know, get myself back in the mind frame of loving the fight again, and that's what happened, man. My batteries are recharged, man. I'm training 3 times a day, 4 times a day, whereas like early in my career, I literally would train on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. You know what I mean? And I was beating guys off of pure talent. Like there was really no system, you know what I mean? Now I have an actual system, and I have an engine behind me that's like focused on me, that's helping me get to my potential. So, you know, it's scary. I'm telling you, what we're doing is going to be scary, man, for sure.
That's great. You were supposed to fight Alexei Oleinik originally.
Yeah.
He got pulled to go fight over him over in Russia. Was there any disappointment there? I was down at ATT and I had talked to him. He said, you guys have been familiar.
Yeah, man.
And he's like, I'm not going to be able to get my choke on this guy.
Exactly. That's my guy, man. Like, me and Alexei trained a lot together. You know, he helped me with my grappling. I helped him with his striking. So, like, it was just kind of a mutual friendship. And I was definitely looking forward to fighting him, you know, because he's one ranked ahead of me, but more because it's like a test for me, you know, in many ways, you know, fighting a person that I actually have a relationship with was going to be a challenge. You know, because if you know me, like I'm a fun-loving guy. I try to, you know, speak to everybody. You know, so I'm not like I'm fighting this guy, I'm mad at him. You know, I don't do that. I don't talk trash. I don't do none of that. So, you know, that was a little test for me. You know, a guy of his caliber and his skill level and his experience was definitely a test for me. So yeah, I was a little bit frustrated. You know, I was like, man, this is my chance to like jump on the scene, you know, and it didn't happen. But like I said again, things happen for a reason. And I'm happy for Alexei. You know, he got a chance to fight it in St. Petersburg and be the main event, you know, and he deserved that. You know what I mean? He definitely deserved it. So we'll have our time for sure. I'm sure we'll see each other again at some point.
Yeah. So how do you adjust your preparation from a guy who you're pretty intimately familiar with to a guy who's never been in the UFC, Sergey, you know, relatively unknown? What do you need to do in order to adjust?
The only thing I adjusted was a bit of mental things, as far as like, you know, he's new. You know, he's hungry. He's coming into the organization to make a name for himself. I remember being that same guy 5.5 years ago when I came in. I'm like, man, whatever they put in front of me, I want to eat it. So, pause, by the way. So, yeah, you know, like, I just felt like, hey, I got to go in and be me, but I got a chip on my shoulder. Let me just say that, you know what I mean, for a lot of reasons. So, we're going to be prepared Saturday night for sure.
Interesting. And I'm curious what you think of just the heavyweight division as a whole right now. It seems like this Brock Lesnar fight isn't happening. They're going to do DC and Stipe too. You know, maybe DC retires if he wins that fight or loses the fight. Who knows? It could be wide open at that point. So, like, what do you kind of make of this? Is it a good thing too that this Brock fight isn't happening?
It's a good thing that this fight is happening, because now the logjam is released and guys can start getting put and move to where they feel they need to be going and where the company feels they need to be going, and we can start shaking things down and start seeing a real, you know, heavyweight division. Like some good fights can be coming out in the pipe real soon. And as far as for DC, my only thing is that sucks, man. Like I feel like, not that he's fighting Stipe and it's not great, but I think that was his cash out. You know what I mean, to fight Brock Lesnar, and I think he, if anybody, deserves that. You know, so that I feel kind of bad for him on that end, but hey, he's still getting paid, he's still fighting, he's the champ. So, you know, he ain't got nothing to sulk about, for real, for real.
Yeah. How many wins do you think you are from just being like in that discussion, like seriously talked about it?
I think I'm 2 good wins, 3 good wins, maybe. I feel like with the Alexei win would have definitely propelled me right there. But yeah, I think 1, 2 more wins, maybe 3. You know, we'll see. I think it's coming though. You know, that's what I'm preparing myself for sure. Yeah,
and it all depends on performances too as well. So, like, what's kind of your ideal performance in this fight? How do you see yourself winning here?
Exciting. First round, man. First round for sure. Like, that's always my goal. Like, I don't hunt knockouts, but when I envision and I lay down at night, I feel like that's the way it's going to be. Something spectacular, something special. I've been working on a lot of things. So I'm just itching to get in there and show the world, you know, like make the people remember my name, you know what I mean? And say, hey, he's here.